Hi there, welcome to Homekeepers. Oh, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And whatever it is, the Bible tells us this is the day that the Lord's made, so we get something good out of it. Have you ever seen this program before? It's called Homekeepers. My name is Arthelene Rippy, and we're very interested in the home all over the world, mainly the American home, which statistically is in a lot of trouble. So we hope that maybe we can do something to turn that around. So if this is the first time you've seen the program, I want you to know how welcome you are. And also for the regular viewers, I hope you know that you have a very important place in our heart. I have a wonderful guest today. This lady is so smart. She spent a lot of time in school, and she has a PhD in theology, and she is a pharmacist, and she's written a book. We've never quite had a book like this before, and I recommend it 100%. It's a study of the book of Hebrews. And actually, if you would take this book and follow what she does, you would end up with a really good course in one of the most important books in the Bible. It's one of my favorites. So I'm anxious for her to talk to you about that, and you'll get an idea. She kind of brings out that it's the women that can really understand this. I want to ask her about that as well. And I'm going to join Stephanie. We're fixing an apple cinnamon loaf, and the aroma in here is beyond description. It's just wonderful. I wish you could smell it, but we haven't achieved that yet, technologically, have we? I am again offering this book, the Never Say Diet book, Personal Fitness Trainer, and this is an outstanding book if you want to get your body where it ought to be. It was written by Chantel Hobbs, who lost 200 pounds and kept it off. And this is a book it's loaded with information, but also it's a log that you can keep track of your exercise and of your eating habits. And the experts tell us that is really important to keep track of what you're doing. So for your gift, any gift of any amount to Homekeepers, I'll send it to you. And if you'll write to me at box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, I'll send it to you. Would appreciate the best financial gift you can make, and if you really can't send anything, I'll send it to you. So please take advantage of that. We have offered it last year and thought we couldn't get any more, and we did, so this supply might not last long. All right, I'm here with Stephanie, and she's jumping up and down. You're getting ready to go on vacation, aren't you, girl?
I'm so excited. And I'm not going on vacation. I'm going to my house, and I might not get out of my pajamas. I'm not sure yet.
They call that a staycation,
yes,
don't they?
And that's what I'm doing, and I can't wait.
That's a new word. And so as soon as she is through here,
I'll do cartwheels right out here.
Out the door. Well, I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
And what we've got here, you go ahead with that. I think shall I try to turn this one out?
Sure. Okay. I have a half a cup of butter, and I have 2/3 of a cup of white sugar that I'm gonna mix together.
And
until it's
this just
smooth.
Came out, so this is a little tricky.
I loosened it a little bit, so I think you'll be all right.
Well, don't we want this to be the top?
Well, you can do it, and then we can flip it back over. Yeah.
It's coming.
Shake it. There you go. Oh, that's hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, you can see the steam.
Careful. Okay, and then I have 2 eggs. I'm going to put in one at a time.
This is a beautiful thing we've made here.
And this walnut, I mean this walnut, that just tells you where I'm going.
She can hardly wait to get out of here.
My brain's on vacation already. This recipe didn't call for nuts, but you thought it would be good, so you threw it in. So that's what's great about cooking, is you can always add your...
Yeah, well, I thought since it's apple,
cinnamon.
It has to have some walnuts.
Oh, yeah. And then you have 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon that you're mixing together for me.
Get all this out of here.
Okay, that's smooth. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. You're taking a few days off, aren't you?
I'm going to go see my son and his family.
That will be wonderful. I love the holidays because people take time to actually spend time together.
Well, that's probably make more memories at Christmas time than any time.
Yep, okay, this is flour and baking soda that I'm gonna mix together real quick, and I'm gonna add that in. Yeah, I love buying the kids pajamas for Christmas, and then all of us take pictures in our Christmas pajamas.
Did you do that this last time?
Oh yeah.
I want to get a centerpiece here. It's really a nice consistency because I'm being very careful, but you can still cut it.
Because it's hot, hot, hot.
It's very hot.
Yes. Once you let it cool, it'll. If somebody let it. Oh, look how pretty that is, right down the center.
Yeah, I'm going to get a plate for it. You talk to the people while I get this plate.
Okay, so I'm just going to finish putting in the flour and the baking soda. Get that mixed in.
This is one of those scratch recipes. They're rare.
And you know what? Get your children in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They'll make a mess, but that's okay. You can clean it up.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday.
This is a half a cup of milk.
My daughter did the most beautiful birthday dinner for me. She had double tablecloths, had gold chargers, and all of her best china and everything. And I was talking to some of the gals upstairs because we had home ec.
Yes.
And we knew which side to put the fork on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the young girls do anymore.
They don't. Okay, so I have this all mixed together. I'm going to put half in here. Let me just get a scraper here. That could have been a mess. Oh, that could have been a mess for my exodus. So we're going to put half in here. I'm going to put half of the brown sugar and cinnamon, half of the apples, and half of the nuts. And then I'm going to put the rest of the batter and put the rest of the cinnamon.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to taste it. Now I will be honest here because I'm wondering how it tastes because you know what? I forgot the milk earlier. There's milk in this one, right?
There's milk in this one. There's not milk in the one you're eating. How much milk does it take? A half a cup.
Yeah. Well, this is
good. It wasn't as smooth, I'll tell you that. It wasn't as smooth, but...
Probably this one will be better.
You like it?
And whatever that sauce is that they put on bread pudding would be good on this.
And I think, I'm telling you, vanilla ice cream. It would
kind of goes without saying, yeah.
Yep, so this is
Do you put a few nuts in here?
Yeah, we'll put a few nuts in there.
Put most of them on the top.
Make sure you scrape those bowls good.
Very, very good.
This would be great with a cup of coffee in the morning, a cup of tea.
Yeah, I think this audience knows that I love quick breads. We've done every kind.
Quick bread and tea. Those are yours.
Yeah. Zucchini. We've done the zucchini. We've done carrot.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah, you don't wear black in here when you're working with flour. Yeah. You've got to remember that.
So the rest of this, except black is thinning, so I will be wearing black with flour.
Yeah. And this bakes at 350 for 30-40 minutes. Do you want to taste it?
Yes, ma'am. There we go.
All right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it's gorgeous. Take it.
Is this mine?
Yeah, that's yours.
I want the yummy stuff right here.
Yeah, you could probably swirl that around a little bit.
Yes.
That first layer. It's called an apple cinnamon loaf, and we would be glad to send you the recipe. That information is coming up on your screen, and we will be happy to get it out to you. 1 to 10, I give it an 11.
It's very good.
Yeah. And you have a wonderful vacation.
Thank you.
Yes. Behave yourself and be sure you come back. Stay with us.
We'll see. No.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, just write the address on your screen, or you can email your request to arthelene@rippy.org.
All right, Kathy Stewart has joined me, Dr. Kathy Stewart, and I made some notes here about your incredible life. Let's see, you have a master's from Liberty, and a PhD in Christian education from Southwest Bible College and Seminary, and you're a pharmacist.
Yes, yes.
How many hours have you spent in the classroom, girl?
Quite a bit, but some of my degrees, like my master's and PhD, I did by correspondence. So I didn't have to go to
it takes
class.
a while to get a degree in pharmacy too. That's,
oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, congratulations to you. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
This is a study guide for Hebrews, the book of Hebrews. I mentioned one of my favorites. And I don't know, all of the books in the Bible are different. They've got their own kind of personality. But this one is really different.
Very distinct, yes.
And I would recommend this for anybody who wants to know about the Word of God. In fact, I plan to go through this and fill in all the blanks she has, because when you finish, you will have had a really good study course. But also I recommend to pastors, Sunday school teachers, anybody who wants to know more about the Word of God. Interesting thing about Hebrews is there's a lot of debate as to who wrote it.
Yes. Yes, there is.
Do you have anybody you lean toward?
Yes. Now, the author is generally divided into two camps. There are people that think that Paul wrote it, and they have their various reasons to support that. I do not, because it doesn't start out with the typical Pauline
doesn't sound like
greeting.
It to me.
Yes, and there's a certain verse in chapter 2 that I just can't imagine that he would have penned. So I have proposed two candidates that I like. I'm leaning toward one. But the two that I mention in this book are Barnabas, whose name means son of encouragement, and Hebrews is a letter of encouragement, absolutely. He was a Levite, and it talks a lot about the priesthood,
right?
The Levite priesthood. And then my other candidate that I really like is Apollos, who came from Alexandria. And he was a Jew, and there's great mention of him that how he's mighty in the scriptures, and how he would refute the Jews, you know, practically daily about the Christ.
You mentioned something in here that really struck a chord in my heart, because it's been more than a decade ago that I spoke for Billy Graham's itinerant for the traveling evangelist.
Right.
Or conference for the itinerant evangelist was called. It's the first year they'd had any division for women.
Right.
And so I was really trying to get my ducks in a row, and I wrote to one of my former professors by the name of Dr. Stanley Horton, who is very, very much up in years now, but Bible scholar, oh my word. So I posed some specific questions to him, and one of them had to do with only men wrote the books of the Bible. And so he answered all my questions, but he said, don't be so certain. There's a body that really believes Priscilla wrote Hebrews.
She is a potential candidate.
And I saw that in your writing too.
Yes. Among the candidates listed are Priscilla and Aquila, who are close friends of Paul. And then some say, well, maybe Priscilla did it by herself. Now, you know, there's parts of the book, you know, where there's sort of a little we in there, and then it transforms in a way to an I for the author. So there is a proposal that maybe there's a possibility that Priscilla, and that's why the author is anonymous.
Yeah, like I said, this was more than 10 years ago, I'm sure, but I would not have even considered that if Dr. Stanley Horton hadn't said it.
Plus, you know, they were teachers. You know, they helped.
Oh yeah,
teach,
I'm sure
they helped teach Apollos.
And she was. Paul lived with them. You know,
yes.
So. Okay. Well, anyway, that was. That's just curious to me. So we can't say for sure that no women wrote the script.
No.
All right, you say it's not how you start, but how you finish. That's pretty much the theme. But you say written by men and understood by women. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I had a women's audience in mind when I kind of put it together, but I wanted to do a doctrinal study for women because there's very few doctrinal studies for women. Women gravitate toward characters in the Bible, or they gravitate toward devotional studies. And I really wanted something a little bit different, you know, a doctrinal study that they could understand.
More meat.
Yes, a little more meatier, but yet a layman's perspective that they could understand. But, you know, it's a study for both men and women. You know?
Oh, yes. Like I say, I get dozens of books. I probably get from 6 to 10 books a week, actually. And never had one quite like this. It's called Hebrews. It's not how you start, and it's a study that you can do all by yourself or in a group, whatever. Why did you choose Hebrews? There's a lot of books in the Bible.
Oh, I just kept coming back to it because it is so encouraging and it's so uplifting, and it probably magnifies Jesus more than any book in the New Testament. Maybe even more so, some could argue even more so than Revelation or John. It just magnifies him so well as the Son of God and also Son of Man and our great high priest, how he intercedes for us and our daily needs, and it just it's so uplifting and it's so encouraging. People have so many troubles nowadays and anxieties, difficulties that they're undergoing. And I just say, just read the book of Hebrews. You know, it is so, how can you not be uplifted, encouraged in your faith?
And in everything, every comparison, he's better than.
He's better than. Those are key words, you know, in the epistle. Better, better than. Faith is another key word that pretty much summarizes.
Well, the 11th chapter they call the Hall of Faith. Yeah,
yes,
for sure. Now, angels are significant in the book, and it's very clear that he is superior.
Absolutely.
To the angels.
Absolutely.
That might be a surprise to some people because they're a strong believer in angels. And
yes.
Why do you think the writer brought that out so much?
I think he
or she.
Yes. Well, it was written primarily to a Jewish audience. Somewhat late, you know, in maybe my belief is in the 60s AD. And by this time, well, of course, you know, the Jewish people had rejected Jesus.
Right.
But yet it's targeted toward a Jewish audience. And so I think he or she, you know, started out of the gate making this argument that he's the Son of God. Absolutely, he's the Son of God. And that's why they should have respect for him, because he is greater and superior to the angels. He created them, they worship him, they serve him, you know, they minister him, and the author just comes right out of the gate and just states this.
It's a book that I think the Christian should be very well acquainted with. Also, it states that he's better than Moses.
Yes.
Now, is this because it was targeting that Jewish reader?
I think so.
Because they knew who Moses was.
I think they had such a respect for Moses and the Mosaic Law, and he was just greatly revered. And the author wanted to establish that Jesus was better than Moses, greater than Moses, because Moses was a servant in his house, so to speak. And of course, his house would be the Jewish people. But Jesus was more faithful as a son over his house. And his house doesn't just include the Jewish audience, but includes us. So it's a more expansive house that it includes. And
it also hammers out the point, the law versus the cross.
Right.
And what is the intent there? To quit relying on your old Jewish laws, that
right.
There's a better way now.
There's a better way, there's a better sacrifice, there's a better sanctuary, there's a better covenant that he brought in, and plus he's just eternal. He lives forever to intercede for us. The sacrifice is the key thing, because they always had to offer sacrifices constantly. And there was the one big sacrifice annually, the atonement, the Day of Atonement. But it didn't wipe away sin. It had to be repeated again.
Right.
It didn't take it away.
Not once and for all.
Yes. And so Jesus' sacrifice is once for all, and he's the only one, you know, in his priesthood. You know, he's the chief priest, you know, in his priesthood. Whereas there were so many of them, because they couldn't continue in office, they would die out.
If you're just joining me, we're talking about the Hebrews, book of Hebrews. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And my guest is Dr. Kathy Stewart. She wrote this. It's a study book. I mean, you'll learn a lot, but there's a lot of blanks for you to fill in, so that when you're finished, you will have had a really good course in this book. This would be great, pastors, if you know, you like to have a series on Wednesday night or something. That's really good. Now, this gentleman by the name of is it Melchizedek?
Melchizedek, yes.
You know, when I've read Hebrews, I didn't take the time to research. I thought, who is he? Good question, right?
Yes. Oh, I love Melchizedek. He's one of my favorite characters in the whole Bible, and I'm glad you brought him up today, because, you know, the Father said, he has sworn, you shall be a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. Now, not according to the order of Aaron, but according to Melchizedek. Melchizedek turns out to be very important, although he's only mentioned in about 3 times, you know, in the Bible. One is in Genesis, one is in the Psalm, where that quotation is taken from, and one is in Hebrews. He's a perfect prototype or picture of Christ. The translation of his name means King of Righteousness. That's his literal translation of his name. He was the king of Salem, or Old Jerusalem, which means King of Peace. That's the translation, King of Peace. So you see King of Righteousness, King of Peace. He met Abraham at this certain point. They encountered each other. And Melchizedek just comes out of the blue.
Right.
You know, in Genesis has all these genealogies. You know, but he comes out of the blue. You don't have any clue who his father or mother are. You don't know when he was born, you know, or when he died. He comes out of the blue, and he blesses Abraham, who had the promises.
And also,
yes, he blesses him, and it turns out, you know, of course, then there's an analogy there to Levi, you know, who is in the seed, you know, the seed of Abraham. You know, he's in his loins, it says at that time. So that means he was greater than that priesthood. His priesthood was greater because it superseded that.
And in Hebrews, Jesus is greater.
Yes, and it refers also to him as being the king of the Most High God, which means Most High God, King of every, you know, that's everyone.
There's one scripture I wanted to ask you about. This is the 2nd chapter. We must pay more careful attention, therefore, to what we have heard, so that we do not drift away. For if the message spoken by angels was binding in every violation and disobedience received its just punishment, how shall we? Now, we means we're all Christians, or that we're the same as the writer. How shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation? Absolutely. Do some people stumble over that?
Well, it's the first warning that is encountered in the book. Mm-hmm. And of course, angels had a hand in mediating the law mm-hmm. that was given at Sinai. They had a hand in that. And of course, if you violated the law, and mm-hmm. You have to keep in mind mm-hmm. that this was written to a Jewish audience, mm-hmm. a Jewish Christian audience, but they were in danger of lapsing, in great danger of lapsing.
That's a solemn warning.
Yes, it's a solemn warning to mm-hmm. them. Now look, if you lapsed under those conditions in the Old Testament, how much more will your punishment be if you lapse with this knowledge that you have regarding the greater salvation?
That's a good way to put it. We're going to run out of time here. Let me mention that this book called Hebrews by Dr. Kathy Stewart is available Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, and I certainly encourage you to check out. You have to get it because we don't have enough time to really give it justice. What does it mean to enter into rest? And we only have a couple minutes.
Such a great question. Mm-hmm. Enter into his rest. Well, God gives us an opportunity. He says, today you can enter into his rest. You enter by faith, by belief. Mm-hmm. You enter in that. Of course, the Old Testament Israelites didn't fail to enter his rest, mm-hmm. his promised rest, because of their unbelief and their disobedience, clearly. But today, we can enter his rest, mm-hmm. his eternal rest. It's different from the Sabbath rest under the old law. Mm-hmm. That was just for a day, but this is like an eternal mm-hmm. rest, his eternal Sabbath.
Well, this is rich, rich, rich. I'm so glad you wrote it. I hope a lot of people will take advantage of it. There's nothing quite as wonderful as having that Word of God in your heart, and you know it, and you know it, and it's going to see you through. Hope you'll join me next time, friends. Remembering, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.